Well, well, well. Look who tripped on his own ambition and face-planted into a recount. Mark Carney, the Liberal Party's self-anointed technocrat savior, the chosen one of Davos, the messiah of macroeconomics, is now holed up in his penthouse pacing in his designer socks, crushing kale chips like stress balls, muttering, "It was supposed to be easy." Oh, Mark, what went wrong? Canada just hit Quattro plus Z on the Liberal fairy tale. Carney's coronation? Cancelled, postponed, possibly permanently. And somewhere, Pierre Poilievre is pouring maple whiskey into a crystal tumbler, toasting the death of liberal inevitability. The liberal machine, that smug, overfunded, narrative-spinning monstrosity, was supposed to roll into 170 seats like a freight train made of CBC segments and polling pseudoscience. Instead, it hit the iceberg called reality. And guess who's still clutching the wheel, trying to make sense of the smoldering dashboard? Mark Carney, captain of the SS electoral delusion. First stop on this flaming train wreck? Terrebonne. That quiet Quebec riding is now the political equivalent of a crime scene. Why? Because Elections Canada, bless their clipboard-loving hearts, couldn't manage to type a postal code correctly. We're talking about literal addresses, not AI, not climate models. Postal codes. A legally valid vote, cast properly within all deadlines, was sent back like a broken Amazon return. Why? Because someone typed oops instead of K1A 0B1. And Elections Canada, they shrugged. Oopsies, but we're certifying the result anyway. Democracy, Amurite? You can't make this up. That one vote? That lone ballot tossed aside like a Tim Hortons napkin? It handed the Liberals a win by exactly one vote. Just one. That's the number of functioning ideas left in the PMO when they realized 170 seats was built on a paper cut. And guess what? The court stepped in and did what the bureaucracy refused to. Call it what it is. A farce. Ruling nullified. Election voided. Seat back to the people. Mark Carney's mandate just went from historic to hysterical. Meanwhile, somewhere in a very posh Toronto condo, Carney's staring at a spreadsheet, whispering to himself, "This wasn't supposed to happen." And out in the real world, conservative voters are popping champagne corks louder than Trudeau's ethics violations. Because that wasn't just Terrebonne. Oh no, this is turning into a pattern. Let's check in with Windsor-Tecumseh. Originally a Liberal win, right? They took it by 77 votes. Or so they thought. Then came the recount. Turns out it flipped. 4-vote win for the Conservatives. That's not an audit. That's a comedy special. Oops. Try again, Mark. Then there's East Halton Hills. Another magical surge of advanced votes, all conveniently glowing liberal red. Because apparently these ballots just rained down from the sky like divine intervention. No demographic shift, no explanation. Just trust us, says Elections Canada. Sure, like we trusted the Phoenix pay system, or the Arrivecon budget, or the guy who said the budget will balance itself. Spoiler, it didn't. Where's Mr. Competence now? Mark Wall Street Whisperer. Carney the adult in the Liberal room is now reduced to a punchline in every political chat thread in Canada. TikTokers are lip-syncing, "Oops, I lost again," while Conservative supporters dance like they found oil under their front lawns. Even once-tame voters, the ones who used to mutter, "Well, Carney seems smart," have turned. Now they're demanding recounts like they're ordering poutine at midnight. Loud, passionate, and fed up with the system forgetting the basics. Let's not forget Pierre Poilievre. The man didn't just call this, he predicted it like a fortune teller with a stats degree. "This isn't a mandate," he said. "It's a mirage propped up by bureaucratic failure." Guess what? He was right. Because what's unraveling isn't one race or one misprinted envelope. It's an entire illusion. Carney's precious 170-seat majority is built on a stack of ballots thinner than Trudeau's skin on Twitter. And now, that whole stack is wobbling. They're dropping like flies. Why do Liberal wins keep appearing in the dead of night through mail-ins no one can trace? Why do recounts only ever shrink Liberal leads, never solidify them? Why do Conservative victories disappear once the advanced polls are magically opened? It's not conspiracy, it's math. And the math is not in Carney's favor. You know what terrifies the Liberal brass more than losing a seat? Momentum. Because every time one seat flips, 10 others start sweating. Ontario alone had over 90 ridings decided by razor-thin margins. Margins smaller than the budget for integrity at a Liberal fundraiser. And if even a handful go back to recount? Carney's historic win becomes a historical correction. And what's their response? Legal panic. Insider leaks say Trudeau's legal team is working overtime, holed up in war rooms covered in dry erase formulas ending in "we're screwed." Meanwhile, Carney? Gone silent. Not a peep. Just the faint hum of a $1,200 espresso machine and maybe the sound of a media handler softly crying. But fear not. CBC's got it covered. By which I mean they're not covering it at all. The national broadcaster is out here tweeting weather alerts from Moose Jaw while entire election results collapse like a carbon tax polling average. CTV, same story. They buried the lead like it was radioactive. Can't have the public knowing their democracy just slipped on a banana peel and crashed into a courtroom. But Canadians know, they're watching, they're mad, and they're not asking for much, just fair votes, a clean process, ballots that don't get rerouted like lost luggage in a Trudeau vacation plan. This isn't paranoia anymore, it's clarity. The fog has lifted. We're not watching a tight election, we're watching a reckoning. The myth of Liberal inevitability? Burned. The crown Carney thought he'd wear? Melted. All that's left is a guy in a suit, clinging to a spreadsheet trying to make it all make sense. But the people? They've moved on. They're turning to leaders who talk straight, who call out bureaucratic nonsense, who treat voters like adults and not just numbers on a mailing list. That's why Poilievre is winning, not just recounts, but hearts, minds, and kitchen tables across the country. Because this wasn't just about one vote, this was about belief, faith. The idea that your voice matters, and if one ballot, just one, can overturn an entire seat, then every Canadian has the right to demand better. No more postal code errors, no more mystery ballots, no more just trust us politics. Yes. Let the recount revolution roll on. Let every questionable riding get dissected with surgical precision. Because every time red flips to blue, it's not just a statistic, it's a message. To Carney, your castle wasn't made of stone. It was glass. And Canadians just threw a brick called accountability. Your throne, vaporized. Your mandate, mythical. Your legacy, a spreadsheet, a scandal, and a cautionary tale. So grab your popcorn, your recount requests, your favorite Pierre Poilievre meme. Because this story, it's just getting started.